All right, Echidna, season 3, episode 4 reaction analysis video. Let's get it right into it.
ReZero Season 3 just dropped another banger episode.
Wait, hold on. Quick recap. I wanted to talk about the skinny sword person. Maybe Capella. It's dragonness. Maybe Typhon. Maybe Reinhardt. And maybe Regulus. Those are the 4 or 5 I don't know. I lost count of what I wanted to hear. Let's see.
This has to be the most cooked we've ever been, though. I mean, just think of everything that's going wrong right now. Capella can turn into a regenerating dragon. 2 more powerful new enemies just appeared out of nowhere. They added another Archbishop of Gluttony. Reinhardt's dad kidnaps a lolly. Baeko's in a coma. Mimi's bleeding to death. Otto is nowhere to be found. Subaru's leg's about to fall off. Rem's still asleep. And Regulus wants to take Emilia's virginity. But
no, he doesn't.
Can we really blame him? It's
right.
well within his rights as a man, no, as a human, to desire such a reasonable thing and to deprive him of one of his most basic. I always thought Al and Priscilla were suspicious characters who gave off the vibe that they were always hiding information, and this episode, Al gives us a hint on how to avoid being eaten by gluttony. He says not to use your real name, which would have been nice to know like 2 seasons ago, because that's exactly what Rem did. Gluttony asked her, "Who are you?" And then Rem said,
Damn it, Rem.
So the idea is that if he doesn't know your name, then he shouldn't be able to eat it. But
You
how did
tell him the
Al
wrong
know?
name.
Where did he get this information? And how did he know gluttony was even here in the first place? Did Al read the light novel? In this chapter of the light novel, Subaru notes how the Archbishop of Pride could...
If each was under one of the leaders of the witch cult. Oh. Pride.
Could be in the city as well. And Betelgeuse did tell us that the Pride seat was vacant, but it's been almost 2 years since season 1, so it's possible
really?
could have filled it by now. So maybe one of these 2 new enemies is the Archbishop of Pride. I'll talk more about them later, but let's discuss Capella.
I think it's only been like a year and a couple months.
Was pretty horrifying this episode. We could hear what sounded like people being killed, followed by this other noise that was even more disturbing.
Poor Alan has one hand to cover his ears.
Tell what the sound was, but in the light novel, it's described as the buzzing of insects, and that's about all we're supposed to know at this time. I also thought Capella... Oh shit, that's my alarm. It must be time for us to appreciate Krush Karsten. I really like how unique and interesting her abilities are, despite them not being as overpowered as most of the other characters. Fun fact, Krush is afraid of heights, and that's why when she looks like she's in love with Subaru, she's actually just holding on to him for dear life.
That's
she's
cute.
one of the most underrated waifus in all of ReZero, and I literally can't stop watching
Underrated what?
putting her hair up.
That is not true.
Because just like Krush in the beginning of season 2, I had to edit this video with only one hand. Capella's voice actress is amazing, but Capella herself has such a hateful personality, I'm surprised she isn't the Archbishop of Wrath instead of Lust. And guys, I hate to admit this, but all gooning aside, Capella is the most fucked up, sadistic character in ReZero. I know it's difficult for us men to do this sometimes, but if we just ignore how hot she is for
Impossible.
and actually listen to what she's saying, Capella calls you a meat sack. And that's just a bit too far, don't you think?
Is it? I don't think so.
I'm a slave and I can be her dog, but I'm not a meat sack. Why is that the only insult she can come up with?
Why do I keep blurifying?
AOT talked about meat this much. Beatrice and Rom were known for having harsh insults, but Capella's on a totally different level. Her insults are genuinely hateful, disturbing, and it's clear that she just completely despises humanity. Anyway, she's a dragon this episode, and the opening already showed us her ability to transform part of her body, but before we all just assume she's a human who can transform into a dragon, let's not rule out the possibility that she's a dragon who could transform into a human. Based on her dialogue, she doesn't seem very fond of humans, so maybe the dragon was her original form, and that's why she views humans as worthless bags of meat. It's possible, right? And no, that's not a spoiler. I don't put spoilers in these videos, guys. Except for this one. Priscilla gets naked. Anyway, Capella Emerata Lugunica is the name of a princess who was supposed to be dead over 50 years ago, back when Wilhelm was a kid. And she doesn't appear to be the same age as Wilhelm. In fact, her age is a bit... maybe we should put our dicks away. Subaru finally meets Gluttony, at least one of them, because there's two now. And this isn't just a clone of the other one, because he has a different name. I know there's a lot going on this season.
It's a different last name too, so I don't think they're related, huh?
After season 1 was to wake Rem up. So if Subaru can kill Gluttony, it's possible that she might wake up. However, it's equally possible that if we kill Gluttony, Rem might never wake up. So maybe it's better to keep him alive. These two new witch cultists were pretty interesting. Well, this one was interesting at least. The other is just a guy with a bunch of arms who reminds me of Barigari from Mushoku Tensei. But Wilhelm has an interesting reaction while fighting this woman, and earlier in the episode he notes that she must have the divine protection of the Shinigami, which allows her to inflict wounds that never heal. The wound Mimi receives this episode can't be healed even by Felix, who's one of the strongest healers that ever lived. Just to put it in perspective, guys, if Felix specialized in any other type of magic, he would be a monster, like a national threat. But because he's just a harmless healer with adorable cat ears and a bussy and a penis, nobody cares. Now, there was some cut content that pretty much reveals who this is, but I'm just not going to spoil that because I think it's obvious they're saving it to be revealed in the future, and I don't want to ruin that for anyone. Basically, Wilhelm was supposed to mention that he too suffered an unhealable wound from this woman in the past, and he literally says her name. But again, I just don't have it in my heart to tell you. I considered revealing it to you guys, but ultimately I think it would hit a lot harder if
Wait. This is known information that apparently I don't know. This is like season 2 stuff or season 1 stuff, no? Taking of blessing but Wilhelm is your arm. This is... I swear he revealed this in season 1. Okay, maybe not.
Does. As for the other cut content,
I feel like an idiot for not knowing who it is.
Was supposed to be involved in this fight. She was flying around breathing fire and shit, but I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to animate that either. Surprisingly, they also added some content that wasn't in the novel. The visuals of Typhon's remains were one of the most badass things I've seen so far this season, and none of that was written about anywhere. Also, at the start of the episode, we saw the dead bodies of the city guards, but later they've been replaced with those creepy egg things that look like they were copied from an Alien movie. You're probably wondering what these are and why they're here. Well, so am I, because there was no mention of eggs in the novel. These were actually supposed to be big chunks of flesh that were described as creatures, almost implying that they're alive, but I'm totally fine with the change, and I thought the eggs were a pretty cool and mysterious addition.
It reminded me of Daphne's little cocoon thing.
Subaru's actual reasoning for not immediately trying to rescue Amelia. The subtitles made it seem like he wants to stop Lust from doing these broadcasts, which didn't really make sense. Amelia looks like she's about to get pregnant, and that's a much bigger problem than Capella doing another broadcast. Well, the reality is that Subaru's trying to prevent Sirius from doing a broadcast, because if she did, her authority could probably wipe out everyone in the city, including Amelia. Capella's dragon form not being CGI was a massive W, but Julius using Alclausaria was kind of a letdown because they just didn't animate it. This spell was supposed to be a beautiful rainbow beam of magic that uses all 6 elements, but instead they just gave us a black puff of smoke. It reminded me of when you have to shit so bad you literally run to the bathroom, but once you sit down on the toilet, all you can do is fart. Apparently, they saved their animation budget for Capella's regeneration scene because that looked really nice. And I'm glad they showed us what Reinhardt is doing too, because he obviously would have tried to stop Capella after hearing her broadcast, but he can't just leave Felt with Heinkel threatening to kill her. And fuck Heinkel, obviously, but to be honest, this is the best way to counter Reinhardt. He's able to easily kill any bad guy, but he's really just not that good at saving people. Even in season 1, after he defeated Elsa, she still got to cut open Subaru, and there wasn't anything Reinhardt could do about it. Emilia had to save Subaru that episode, and now more than ever, she needs him to save her. But
I don't remember that scene.
Anyway, the highlight for me was probably the Typhon visuals because that part was new to me, but objectively the best scene was Capella's face regenerating. Easily another 10 out of 10 episode, and probably my favorite of the season so far. Thank you so much for watching.
Really?
Please hit a like if you enjoyed the video, but that's all I got for now. So until
I feel like I'm disliking the episodes a little bit more,
peace.
But they're still like 9 out of 10 for me. So there's not really much cut content. Okay, I was expecting a lot more, honestly. I can't believe I don't know who that death god is, because I know I've like heard it before, because it's season 1 content, and I'm apparently it's important information, so I'm not gonna go look it up. But okay, if if you're smarter than me and you watch the cut content, you should know who that is, because I know it's been mentioned before. I'm sure when I watch Kaka react, he'll be like, "Oh, that's." Anyways, W Echidna video, Echidnut video. Didn't learn too much though, unfortunately. But that just means that W adaptation, right? Well, same time next week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, peace.